So with that, those opening remarks, I'll say I'm Steve Katsaros, Katsaros. I'm one of the parents who created the Parent Safety Advocacy Group, PSAG as it's known, and we have been demanding change of the entire DPS system in this current environment. We feel that it's so critical that parents show up and give their voice and support those in our community that we feel haven't had a voice for whatever reason, and to make sure that we bring the best resources. So we have working groups that are creating advice to the community and to the Denver Public Schools. It's been a hard couple of months, and I think we have evidence of that in the background right now with the emergency vehicles that we're going to bear with, because this is the state of what we're going through right now. Everything is in flux, and my remarks are going to come in just a few seconds as we are done with our audio blowing out. When I think about the tragedies that have happened here at East High School, and then learning about what's going on across Denver Public Schools, it really brings my heart to break. And I think that we have a family today, the family of Luis Garcia, who have endured our worst fears. And that's why we're here today, is to hear their story, to lend a hand in them telling their story about where things stand from their perspective. I was at the funeral, which was by far the hardest thing that I could ever imagine happening in my family, and a second close was just attending one of a kid who was murdered. And I don't want to say much else other than to introduce Matthew Berenger, who is with the family and has prepared remarks. Thank you.
And good morning. You all hear me? We're good? So before I have my short remarks, I want to thank Steve. I also want to thank the parents, as well as the leadership within PSAG for hosting the Garcias this morning, giving them this platform, allowing them to tell the community what they've gone through. The grieving process, the frustrations, what they would like to see happen in the future, and what they can do so this never happens again. Now, I'm here for two reasons. One, to support the Garcia family in their comments this morning, as well as my staff who is seated behind them, as well as to talk very briefly about the pending litigation. I stress pending. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And also dispel some rumors that have been floating around that pending litigation. So, the Garcias, through my office, when instituting this wrongful death action against the City and County of Denver, Denver Public Schools, and the school board, we're looking in reality for three things: action, answers, and accountability. Answers: how could this happen? Action: what is Denver Public Schools, the school board, going to do in the future to avert a tragedy such as this? And accountability, well, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The Garcias want those who they believe are responsible to be held accountable for the murder of Luis Garcia in front of East High School. Now, to start that process, any plaintiff, when suing a city or state entity, must send a 180-day notice. That's what it is. It's a notice. It's not a lawsuit. Lawsuit has not been filed as of yet, so I want that to be clear. Now, certainly a lawsuit is forthcoming in the following weeks, but at this point, that has not happened. Now, the reason you have to do a 180-day notice, as I mentioned, is when you seek a suit against the city or state, per Colorado law, you have to send this notice. And in that notice, there are other certain requirements. Before I get to those requirements, something to be clear. It's jurisdictional in nature. So if the Garcia family, or any other plaintiff for that matter, doesn't file this notice, they don't get their day in court. Now, as to its contents, the contents must list certain things, again, in accordance with Colorado law. One of those requirements is employees involved. And that's what I want to touch on here. It has been reported last Thursday, not this yesterday, but the Thursday before, that when we sent our notice to the entities for which we think needed to receive said notice, we listed all 7 board members of the Denver Public Schools. Yes, we did. We also listed 16 employees of Denver East High School. Yes, we did. 2 of those were Dean Mason and Dean Sinclair. Now, some are saying or thinking or assuming that we're having a claim against Dean Sinclair and Dean Mason. Simply not the case. It is a notice, nothing more than a notice. And as attorneys for the Garcia family, it is our duty to list, cover our bases, and have all those that need to be listed. Now, I haven't done any investigation. We don't represent, neither one, Dean Mason or Dean Sinclair. But by virtue of listening to their testimony, Dean Mason and Dean Sinclair's sister, I think clearly Denver Public Schools, the administration, put them in a horrific situation. And I would say from the outside, the 2 of them acted as absolute heroes in an impossible situation. Now, that also translates to the Garcias and the Luis. And it is in our 180-day notice and in the claims that are contained therein that the Denver Public Schools, the board, put Mr. Garcia in the most grave situation, his murder in front of his high school. The community lost a student, a fantastic athlete, someone who's held a job while he was still juggling those 2 other things at his young age. And most importantly, lost a son, lost a brother, lost a cousin. So those are the remarks that I have for you all this morning. I would now like to invite Mr. Santos. ¿Usted listos? ¿Quiere la interpretación o en inglés? ¿En inglés está bien? Okay. So, this is Santos Garcia, Garcia. Interpreter? Okay. And also, Ada with my office. She's going to be doing interpretation this morning. Be nice to her. I forced her to do this. She's head paralegal and office manager with my office, and maybe most importantly, a West High School graduate. So, vamos.
Lo primero que quiero decir
The first thing that I want to say,
darle gracias a todos ustedes,
thank everyone, each and one of you guys,
a mi familia por estar con
for
nosotros,
my family to be here with us.
No quisiera que alguien más estuviera en nuestro lugar.
I wouldn't want anybody else to be in our place.
Tenía muchas cosas que decir.
I had a lot of things to say.
Hemos perdido familia,
We've lost family,
todos aquí en general.
everyone here in general,
Un papá, un hermano.
a mom or a brother.
Pero un hijo es algo
But to lose a son is something
triste, devastador.
very devastated and sad.
Y no me gustaría
And I would not like
que nuestros hijos
that our son, our children,
estuvieran o ustedes estuvieran en una situación
that
como
you guys were
nosotros.
in a situation like we are right now.
Yo me imagino que en una escuela lo importante son los estudiantes, los niños, los muchachos.
I would imagine that in a school, the most important thing will be the children, the kids, the students.
Después los maestros
After the teachers
y gente
and
que
people
nos ayuda
that will help us
a crear buenas personas en el futuro, ¿no?
to create good people, good persons in this world.
Yo al ver la patrulla que pusieron enfrente de la escuela,
When I saw the patrol that they put in front of the school,
creo que a lo mejor mi hijo estuviera aquí con nosotros todavía.
I think maybe my son will be still here with us today.
Si las cosas hubiesen cambiado
If
antes,
things were different before,
cabría la posibilidad.
maybe there was that possibility.
Cuando platicamos con la policía,
When we talked to the police,
preguntamos por qué no había seguridad en las escuelas.
we asked why there was no security at school.
Ellos nos comentaron que el board school
They told us at the board school
no quería dar tickets
they didn't want to give any tickets
a estudiantes que estuvieran vendiendo
to
drogas
students that were be selling drugs
o haciendo drogas.
or doing drugs.
Ellos están cuidando a esos muchachos,
They are taking care of those kids.
pero ¿quién cuida a nuestros muchachos?
But who is taking care of our kids?
A los muchachos que estudian, que
The-
trabajan,
The kids that go to school, that they work,
que hacen deporte,
that they actually do sports.
los buenos muchachos.
The good kids.
¿Quién los cuida a ellos?
Who takes care of them?
Todos los días me levanto
Every day I wake up
y, y volteo a la ventana a ver si veo a mi hijo.
and I look at the window to see if I see my son.
Los cumpleaños,
The birthdays,
Mother's Day,
Mother's Day.
ya no son los mismos.
They're not the same anymore.
Nuestras vidas
Our lives,
cambiaron definitivamente.
they changed definitely.
Y como les vuelvo a repetir,
And like I'm going to repeat to you guys again,
no quiero más familias
I don't want any more families
dañadas como nosotros,
being damaged like ours.
porque pedimos a un
Because
buen muchacho,
we lost a good kid,
a un buen ser humano.
a very good human being.
Y gracias, es todo.
Thank you. That's it.
So, my name is Santos Garcia, and should I spell my last name? Yeah, Garcia, which is Garcia, and I'm host Luis's brother. I think I've spoken to a lot of you guys before, and it's been hard to carry on without my brother, and take care of not only my family but myself. And we were hoping to see a change, and it was a shame that there had to be another shooting in order for a change to take process. And I don't want to see any other family experience something like this. You know, you feel lost, you feel a hole, and I just want a change in who makes the decisions, and for people to take accountability for decisions like this. And yeah, that's it.
Hello, my name is Giovanna Garcia, Jovana. I'm Luis's oldest sister. I want to start off by saying thank you for everyone who's been showing me and my family support. February 13th used to be just our cousin's birthday. It quickly turned into the worst day of our lives. Just after getting off the phone with my mom, my brother Luis was shot right in front of his school. And after fighting in the ICU for weeks, he didn't make it. Lots and lots of people showed up for him. His family, his friends, and a lot of his teachers. Everyone respected the boundaries given the nature of the situation. The day he got shot, after surgery, the superintendent, Dr. Alex Marrero, a stranger to us, one of the people that I think failed my brother, came to the hospital and asked to see him. And what's wrong with that? The entitlement he had to even ask, when not even his siblings were allowed to see him. That was the last time I personally saw him show up for my brother. All the adults in charge that are supposed to make schools safe failed my brother. No type of security or protection. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is that weeks after my brother passed, there was an incident where 2 adults were injured, not dead. And then they wanted change. Was Luis's life not enough? No one should send their son or their daughter to school and them not make it home. Adults are supposed to protect children. My brother never hurt anyone or did anything but tried to make my parents' lives easier. Everyone who knew Luis knew he had a genuine soul and never wished anything ill will towards anyone, no matter what. He loved nothing more than us, our parents, his siblings, his niece, his cousins, and his friends. He even switched out his schedule weeks prior to pick up our mom from work to accommodate to Santos's new work schedule. Life without him will never be the same. How can we be fully happy knowing he's gone? We went from sharing a room all our lives, Santos, Luis, and me, to not having our brother at all. This is not fair. How can I even think about healing or trying to be okay knowing this could happen again, when there could be another family in our situation? Where's the justice? And most importantly, what are the changes moving forward? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Omar Bobadilla, Bobadilla, and I am Luis's cousin. The day he got shot, it was my birthday, and he called me to go hang out 20 minutes before he got shot. We were talking all day. He was texting all day of what we're gonna do. We're gonna go hang out. But little did I know he was brutally shot. That day we were gonna hang out. We were gonna hang out that day, but I had to spend every single day with him, next to him, at his bedside, watching him suffer. Couldn't breathe on his own. We watched him suffer. He wouldn't respond. We felt his last heartbeat. It was difficult. And I want everyone to know Luis wasn't a bad person. He didn't hurt no one. He would go to school. We would go to the gym. We would hang out, watch a movie, play sports. He would go train for soccer. I'll go with him and train with my little brother for football. He wasn't a bad person. He didn't hurt no one. He didn't have any problems with anyone. And I want everyone to know that. He was a good kid. He did no harm to no one.
So that's who we have to address what I said in my opening remarks, how this tragedy has affected the family. We'd be happy to take a few questions I'm sure you folks may have. Just please know, by virtue of the pending litigation, that I may say can't answer that. And I'm sure you folks have dealt with that before. So I'd be happy before the rain gets here. If you have any questions, actually, it's starting to pitter-patter a little bit. So.
You mentioned there was a 180-day waiting period. What is the next step in the legal process in terms of filing a lawsuit? When would that happen?
So we anticipate probably within the next 60 days, roughly, that suit will be forthcoming. That will be filing against entities that are listed in the 180-day notice. And then after that point, we go into litigation.
In that 180 days, is there a possibility for any mediation, settlement with the district?
If it were to happen, that would be wanted. Court's always like that. If the parties are able to work something out, I doubt that at this juncture. But certainly, as parties are always encouraged to negotiate.
In the lawsuit, is it the city of Denver listed, named, and then also DPS? And will some of those names that you mentioned be dropped once the formal lawsuit is finally?
Correct. That is a correct statement. So yes, we haven't formalized exactly with whom we are going to file suit against, but certainly, as referenced, Denver Public Schools, City and County of Denver, the school board. But yes, many of the names that have been listed will not be in that final lawsuit. Correct.
Different way. Has the district reached out to you to meet with them?
No, they have not.
No communication.
No, they have not.
Can you elaborate on what Mr. Garcia was talking about? There's no security because they didn't want to bust people with drugs. What were the details? Who said that?
I can't speak to that. All I can say as a general matter, as evidenced in our 180-day notice, that the removal of the security resource officers and other decisions made by the Denver Public School Board is part and parcel with our claims against said board. As to the other things, the other items stated by Mr. Garcia, I can't step into his mind.
Other than filing the notice, have you reached out directly to Denver Public Schools? I know that you said that they've not reached out to you, but I think sometimes you guys can reach out to them.
Sure. Well, the notice itself is reaching out. And in that notice, it asked that we receive a response within 10 days from receipt. And we did receive a response from City and County of Denver essentially saying your claims for which you've brought up, they should be more properly placed with Denver Public Schools.
Can we ask a question of Mr. Garcia?
Sure, absolutely.
Señor García, yo entiendo que está en este proceso legal, pero ¿hay algo específico que usted le pide a la mesa directiva de educación que haga? ¿Qué cambios específicos usted le está pidiendo a la mesa directiva de DPS?
Pásalo. And está bien para responder con él, okay?
With an interpreter.
Oh, that would be nice. Ada? You thought you were done?
Específicamente, ¿qué estaría pidiendo?
Pues en sí, específicamente lo que nosotros pedimos
What I will specifically ask,
como familia afectada,
as being as affected family,
queremos seguridad.
we want security.
Esa es la palabra que a mí me gustaría
That's
más
a
que
word
nada recalcar.
That I would like to just make it straight and simple.
Porque si ustedes están aquí para apoyarnos a nosotros,
Because if you're here to support us,
es porque quieren seguridad para sus hijos.
it's because you want security and safety for your kids.
Algo que nosotros
Something that
no tuvimos.
we didn't have.
¿Nos puede decir, señor, específicamente qué tipo de seguridad? Can you tell us more specifically what you would like to see in security?
Si ves la seguridad que está a 200 pies de nosotros,
Do you see the security that is 200 feet from us?
esa es la seguridad que queremos.
That's the security that I'm talking about, the ones that we want.
Gracias.
¿Nos puede decir cómo era Luis? ¿Qué tipo de hijo era?
Mire, Luis, tengo 3 hijos,
I have 3 kids.
pero era el hijo que se sentaba conmigo a platicar.
He was the son that will sit with me and talk.
A los 3 los quiero igual,
I love the three of them the same,
pero era el más cercano.
but he was the closest to me.
Él era la alegría de nuestro hogar.
He was the happiness of our home.
Él desde los 6 años comenzó a jugar soccer, ¿sabe?
Since he was years old, he started playing soccer, you know?
Y a los 11 años
And at the age of 11,
me dice, quiero jugar en la academia de Rapids, papá.
he told me that he wanted to play at Rapids Academy.
Y van miles de niños a hacer tryouts.
And then there's a lot of kids that go and do tryouts.
Y en ese tiempo escogieron a 24 niños para jugar
And at that time, they chose 24 kids to play
en el DA.
on the DA.
Es el nivel más alto.
That's the highest level.
Y él fue escogido y estaba contento.
And he was chosen, and he was very happy.
Y se mantuvo 3, 4 años jugando a ese alto nivel.
And he was there for about 3 or 4 years playing at that level.
Él comía saludable,
He ate really healthy.
hacía ejercicio,
He would do exercise.
le gustaban las niñas como a todos a esa edad.
He would like the girls like anyone at that age, you know.
Él era muy alegre,
He was a very happy person.
quería mucho a sus hermanos.
He loved his siblings really a lot.
Pero él era una persona, me da tristeza a veces platicar esto,
He was, I get sad by telling you guys this
porque él no se merecía morir así.
because he didn't deserve to die this way.
Pero él era un excelente muchacho.
But he was an excellent boy.
Does he remember the last conversation you had with his son?
¿Recuerda usted la última conversación que tuvo con él?
Sí,
Yes.
en las mañanas a las
In the mornings,
7:30,
around 7:30,
la mayoría de las veces le hablaba,
the majority of the time I'll talk to him,
porque él comenzó a trabajar 3 meses atrás
because he started working 3 months prior.
y le hablaba porque a veces se quedaba dormido.
And I would talk to him because he would probably just, stay asleep.
Pero ese lunes
But that Monday,
13 le hablé en la mañana y le dije, mijo,
I talked to him that morning, the 13th,
me dice, ¿qué pasó, papá? Me quedé dormido.
and I said, "What happened, Dad? I fell asleep."
Digo, no importa, hijo,
It doesn't matter, son.
vete con cuidado.
Just, go in peace and be careful.
Si llegas tarde, no importa.
If you get there late, it doesn't matter.
Eso no cambia nada.
It doesn't change anything.
Solo ve con cuidado.
Just, be careful.
Que tengas un bonito día.
Have a wonderful day
Y cuídate, hijo.
and take care.
Esa fue la última conversación que tuve con él.
That was the last conversation I had with him.
Señor García, como dijo usted, quiere seguridad. Hay padres en el sistema escolar que no se han sentido seguros con policía en los salones escolares. ¿Cuál es el balance que usted como padre que tiene esta demanda específica? ¿Qué es el balance que usted buscaría, que usted recomendaría?
Esta es una escuela de arriba de 2.500 estudiantes.
This is a school with about 2,000 students.
No queremos 100 policías.
We don't want 100 policemen.
Queremos solo que tengan algo de seguridad.
We just want, some type of security.
Eso a lo mejor no cambiaría muchas cosas.
That maybe might not change a lot of things.
Pero todos fuimos adolescentes.
But once we were young before,
Ese carro que está allá afuera,
that car that it's outside,
para algunos estudiantes
for
están
some
haciendo,
students,
les da miedo,
they fear,
pero para la mayoría
but for,
se sienten seguros.
but for the majority, they will feel safe.
Esta es la primera vez que vengo desde que pasó lo de mi hijo.
This is the first time that I've been here after the event happened.
Y al ver la patrulla ahí,
And to see the patrol there,
me da gusto por los estudiantes
I'm
que están
happy
ahí adentro.
for the students that are inside.
No queremos 100, no queremos 200
We don't want
policías,
100, 200 policemen,
pero queremos un poco de seguridad para que los estudiantes se sientan seguros.
but we want some type of security so that the students feel safe.
Y no queremos que ellos tengan miedo, queremos que se sientan seguros.
And we don't want them to fear, we just want them to feel safe.
Es todo.
I think so. So with that, again, I would like to thank PSAG one more time for giving them this fantastic platform. Thank you, Steve. And thank you all for coming out and supporting the Garcia family. As Mr. Garcia said, this is his first time being back since his son was murdered. And his wife is back behind Luis's mom. She originally wasn't going to show today because it was too much for her, and she's very brave to be out here this morning. So again, I want to thank you all, and I think that will conclude this press conference this morning. Thank you.